Well, followers of historical board gaming, I am proud to announce that Doug is about to put the Confederate States of America on sale. This is an expansion package that's been several years in the making, lots of play testing. And what you see before you are many of the items that are included with the game. I'll show you the overlays in a minute. But you have roundels that are printed on both sides for special units within the CSA, the Marines and Texas Rangers, as well as double-sided roundels for your options. And then if you look at the units, we have a mix of unique units, unique to Confederate States of America, like this really outstanding infantry and cavalry you can see there. But we also have a mix of French influence as well as American. Most of you should be able to pick that out. There's the M3 Lee tank right next to the heavy tank, the French ARL. See the same thing in aircraft with a French transport. Some American influence in the aircraft, especially heavy bombers, strategic bombers, that is. And then Confederate States of America unique units. This is the Dewey right here, the Santa Fe, and then next to that is the Norfolk heavy cruiser and battle cruiser. I forget the name. That is the Monterey. And you have the Georgia battleship, and the heavy battleship is the Richelieu. You have a French light carrier, and then a regular fleet carrier and a heavy fleet carrier, and then some submarines. And so let's take a walk over. Now, this is the color that they'll be 3D printed in. Those are the roundels. What you're about to see, the overlays, on top of the overlays is the setup for the opening of the game, and my units, a lot of which were used in play testing. But also you have, there's a CSA unique militia, which I painted into my CSA colors. You see the overlay, how seamlessly it fits. In fact, there's the 3D printed terrain, and you can just barely see the bevel between Colombia and Ecuador, and that's the demarcation for the overlay. I do have a map that is one generation older. It's not updated with the split of the Philippines and a couple other updates, but you can see the US setup, the CSA setup. You can see a Texas Ranger, ironically, in Texas. You can see a CSA Marine down in Cuba. We do have our own historic timeline. You'll see the CSA actually dug a canal, the Davis Canal, there in Latin America. Once again, we do have our own setup. We do have our own timeline for World War I, World War II. CSA received lots of assistance from the British as well as the French. The narrative behind this game is the USA's main concern is Japan, so the majority of forces are naval, and they are arrayed off the coast of California for the USA. The CSA is primarily concerned with France, goes to war as soon as France goes to war, but the USA has a very slow boil when it comes to Axis actions, unless they're Japanese actions, and then quickly can be found. You'll have the USA. So the CSA acts in, you can see this beautifully printed, this is the rules, followed by USA reference sheet, which is updated. We've split the national objectives and made a couple others. You can, the USA's road to war with income is catered towards this Japanese focus, although they will increase in income as the Germans and the Italians are conducting their various activities. The North America Security Zone is what the old Monroe Doctrine. It's in there, and it's actually active for both the CSA and USA. Only makes sense. There is a partisan element to this, primarily Comintern partisans. So now we're getting into the CSA National Reference Sheet. Much quicker ramp up to war, much lower income, more land units, but again, very low income. They have their special abilities and one national objective. And then of course they got some special units. You can see the setup and everything else. So we're really excited about this. I'm glad to see it's going to get out. My next effort after Global Empires is published is to work on the World War I version of this, which will probably not include an overlay for the West Coast. As you read the narrative for this history, or a historical history, you'll understand why. And on the East Coast, the CSA won't occupy as much territory, but they are going to be an immediate contributor to the war in Europe. And as you can imagine, with random events and balance, I have a lot of work to do in preparing a Global 14 version of this expansion. So don't expect it anytime soon, but I know you'll absolutely enjoy this one. So look for it on HBG's webpage within the next couple weeks.